And all bundled up, time to go get some awesome night shots. I'm John from Fly 8 Mike Alpha, CFI turned airline pilot turned back to CFI. Come along on my journey, flying Alaska to Florida and beyond. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Yes, I bought myself some of my own Christmas gifts for making more awesome, amazing videos. Now, that was some pretty sweet shooting last night with the stars. A little bit of light pollution coming from Vegas. Hopefully we'll get some darker skies, some more pretty skies later on in the trip. But we've been trapped in the trailer all day long. Yes, it is an absolute mess. We've been working on YouTube videos, and it is now time to go
flying!
So everyone remembers from their private pilot days of what they say about sloped runways, right? That obviously if you're landing downhill, it's going to take a lot longer to get stopped. If you're taking off uphill, it's going to take you a lot longer on the ground to get going. And of course, if you're coming to land and you're landing on a runway that's sloped down, you tend to come in high because of the optical illusion. You'll wind up coming in high and fast and then trying to get slowed down and running off the end. That's usually bad. Now, if you're coming in uphill, you're probably going to come in and want to fly lower than normal. So you're going to be dangerously low, and you may land short or hit the trees before the runway begins. That would also be pretty bad. So we've got a nice slanted runway here. It's not much. According to the chart supplement, it's about 2 degrees. Now, 2 degrees doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually pretty significant. And it has a pretty significant impact on your takeoff performance and landing performance. So landing downhill, of course, it's going to take a longer ground roll. Landing uphill, you're probably going to touch a little harder than normal, even when you know you're going to be landing uphill and you try to counter it with adding power and flaring a little more. It still is usually a little firmer than normal, but you get stopped pretty quick, which is kind of nice. Landing downhill, they're usually softer because the runway's just kind of falling away below you as you come down. Nice soft landings, but you'll land a lot farther down than you expect to typically. So, Stephanie, which way are we going to take off today? Left or right? Uphill, downhill?
Downhill, but I'm going to back taxi first.
Cool, so we're going to back taxi. The wind's calm, so taking off downhill makes a lot of sense. Now, what if the wind wasn't calm? What if it was going to be, say, maybe a 5-knot tailwind component taking off downhill? Well, it varies by the airplane, and you definitely want to talk to your flight instructor about this. I usually say roughly 3 to 5 knots for every degree is really your break-even point. Say there's a 3-knot tailwind, I would probably still take off downhill on this 2-degree slope because I'd say it's worth about 6-10 knots roughly. Now, say I was going to take off downhill, but there was going to be a 15-knot tailwind, well, I might consider taking off uphill then, into the wind, because I'll get extra lift, I'll get off the ground faster, I'll be able to climb away from the runway. The biggest thing here is to remember that it's going to be the tailwind or headwind component, not the total wind. So if you have a little bit of a crosswind, which you typically do, it's rarely coming right down the pipe, one way or the other. So in that case, you have to figure out your tailwind or headwind component, and then figure out, is it more beneficial to take off downhill or uphill? Some strips, it makes that decision for you. Usually they're one way in, one way out when you're dealing with steep inclines. There's going to be a certain point where 4 or 5 degrees is a one-way in, one-way out strip, because no matter what you do, you're not going to get the airplane to accelerate to takeoff speed going up a certain grade.
Temple Bar traffic, Cessna 2962 Delta will be entering the runway for back taxi, taking off to the north, Temple Bar.
As we back taxi this runway, it becomes very evident very quickly. We're using about 1600, 1700 RPM. Mind you, it's a constant speed propeller airplane, so not quite as much power as if you're 16 or 1700 RPM on a fixed pitch propeller airplane, but it's taken every bit of that just to get us to go up this hill, about 1600 RPM to keep us rolling uphill to be able to take off downhill. This airplane, typically loaded the way it is, will take off in about, what would you say, about 350, 400 feet ground roll?
Something like that.
Yeah, so as we go downhill today, we're going to see how much that shortens actually for us when we use 20 degrees of flaps and take off downhill really with no wind around, absolutely wind calm.
Temple Bar traffic, Cessna 62 Delta on the roll, runway 35 departing. We'll be making a right turn. Temple Bar.
Now, as soon as you get lined up, it's going to become pretty obvious if you're going downhill or uphill, because not so much in this video, but just sitting here right now, it's a pretty significant downhill. And judging by those stripes, I'd say that was about 250 to 300 feet. So it saved us probably at least 50 to 100 feet on our takeoff roll. And going the other direction, we could have easily expected to probably double our takeoff roll, if not more. If you're looking for some slanted runway practice yourself and you're wondering where this beautiful spot is, we are in Temple Bar Uniform 30, just on the western side of the Grand Canyon, just to the east of Las Vegas. Beautiful spot out here right in Arizona, just before you hit Nevada. Temple Bar is a nice paved runway, not the best of shape, but it is one of the few approved landing sites within the National Park System in the United States, so it is pretty worthwhile checking out if you happen to pass through the area. And they even have cool little cabins you can rent and stay right on the lake. It's fairly cheap to stay overnight or park your RV there like we're doing right now. Where's our next stop?
Pearce Ferry.
Pearce Ferry. That is another airport within the national park, or national recreational area. I don't know. It's managed by the NPS. They claim ownership of it. And this is really, really beautiful this time of night. It's crazy to see all the watermarks of the different levels that the lake has been at over the years. This is Lake Mead?
Lake Mead.
Nice.
M-E-A-D.
My favorite. I like mead. She likes wine, I like mead. It's a dirt runway, looks like. Definitely not paved.
That's what I'm most excited about.
Get back on dirt instead of that pavement that's not even good pavement. It was just like really
I know.
rough.
I almost landed on the taxiway, and then once I landed, I was really glad I didn't, because it was very rough taxiway conditions.
A little bumpy. Pretty sweet. Definitely a sweet lake. The whole lake's open to seaplanes too. That is like the coolest part. Oh wow, and ADSB even has... Oh, I guess that traffic doesn't matter. It's at 32,000 feet. It's right there. I see it.
You want to look in the supplement to see what kind of grade that has?
Sure. I know it's runway 1 and 19.
Okay.
Doesn't mention any sort of grade. Ooh, is it right on top of that little table there? Yeah, I think it is.
Pearce Ferry, Cessna 60 Deltas, a couple miles west. We'll be flying over the field. Pearce Ferry.
You're like half mile west. It's right there. That looks amazing. Wow. That is a sweet little strip. See any windsocks?
Yep. Blonde that way. A little bit of a crosswind, looks like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost a direct crosswind.
You see anything on the runway at all?
No, runway looks pretty clear to me. I mean, aside from some big rocks and bushes to watch out for, but nothing major. You landing north or south?
I was gonna do a low pass.
Sure.
North.
Yeah, see how that goes. I don't think the wind's that strong down there.
Yeah.
Pretty neat view though. You did ask the other day what it'd be like to just, you know, like start up, fire up, and then take off the edge of a cliff and then dive down and gain airspeed. This might be your chance to figure it out. It looks pretty good right in the middle. It's just, you got like that 25-foot wide path that's pretty clear. That windsock's pretty slack. You thinking north or south?
That is pretty cool how it just drops off the cliff like that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet
I'm
view.
a Super Cub! Look at that light.
I know.
Pearce Ferry, traffic 62 Delta, just making right traffic for runway 1, Pearce Ferry. Pearce Ferry, 60 Delta turning base, runway 1, Pearce Ferry.
A little bit of break, eh?
I'm just letting it.
Roll to our death?
Yeah, it's not gonna do that.
So we quick jumped out of the airplane, got some awesome pictures, but the sun was setting pretty fast, and with no lights at either airport, we needed to get back pretty fast.
Pearce Ferry, Cessna 60 Delta, entering the runway, will be departing to the south, Pearce Ferry.
I guess that's the thing about sunset flights with unlit runways is they can't go too late, huh? Ooh, this will be nice. Last little bit of light. That is really pretty.
The big old town here, I guess.
What's
or is that all rocks? Can't even tell.
Can't tell if it's buildings or rocks. It looks like buildings.
Well, there's no lights.
Yeah. It is pretty dark, but that is some sort of little city or town or little community.
All the helicopters coming back from the Grand Canyon.
Say it again?
All the helicopters coming back from the Grand Canyon, all those...
Yeah, all those little targets there.
Yeah.
All the tours are ending for the day. Yeah, it's a lot of traffic, a lot of helicopters.
Yep. All these mountains.
Yeah. There's really no wind, though.
Well, there was a lot coming into Pearce Ferry. Pretty bumpy. But we're not supposed to fly over the marina, but everything else is fair game, right?
Yeah.
Temple bar traffic, 60 Delta, making a 3-mile final runway 18.
Yeah, close enough.
Can't remember.
Alright, here we go for a nice little uphill landing. And we'll see how soft you can make it, because these are really tough to make soft. Really tough to make them soft when you're going uphill. But you'll get stopped a lot quicker. The trick with the uphill landing is it'll make you want to fly lower than you should. It'll make you feel like you're high, even when you're not. That's a good slope there.
Boy, it really makes it a different perspective.
Yeah, a little bit. Nice job.
Another pretty good night of shooting. Steph got her first practice shots in.
All by myself.
Yeah.
Because he got a new camera, so
I got my
get the
Christmas
old
present
one.
to myself. Yeah, I like my Christmas present to myself. It takes pretty good pictures. The sky here's not that great.
It's got some light
Yeah.
from Vegas. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and it's not like the best time of the year for star pictures anyways, but still came out pretty cool. So it's officially tomorrow already. It is
We're
really
tired.
late. Yeah, we need to get some sleep, pack up, get out of here. We're going to Parhump?
Parhump.
Somewhere in Nevada tomorrow.
I like to call it Parhump.
Yeah, something like that. We're going to go there tomorrow. What's on the game plan?
Oh, fly over the Hoover Dam, which I've never seen. That's going to be cool.
And then Echo Bay.
Yeah.
And then Parhump. So we will see you guys
next time, and like and subscribe down here.
Very good. Proud of you. We'll see you guys in the next episode. But being attacked by a desert rat, also known as a Pomeranian.
Trying to get the shadow out of the picture.